discussion? Hearing none. Call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay. Moving right along. Approval of claims.
Well, we
Sir.
have a few.
We do.
The first one, Troyer for $268.75. It's for the Husky Trail Parker Street traffic study. Second one, Barnes & Noble, $187.50 was for work on the residential TIF districts. Kemple and Associates, $16.75 was for the plat, the Waterworks plat, which is the Buffalo Street mixed-use redevelopment project. Troyer Group, $23,543 is the Lincoln's Neighborhood Street project, NDOT project. A&Z Engineering, $11,922.50 is for 150 West Engineering. Vern Mitchell, 7,000 appraisals for the 4 appraisals for the Buffalo Street mixed-use project. Dawson appraisal, 1,080. Both these Dawson appraisals for the senior housing project on Market Street. Warsaw Times Union, 124.85 is for an ad for the Buffalo Street project. Plat. Structure Point, 25,016.47 for, I believe, Anchorage Road. And then Fenton Brown, 39,345.42 is for North Point, pay app 5.
And Griffin appraisal was added on.
And then Griffin was added on.
Yes, addition.
7,100 is also for the Buffalo Street mixed-use appraisals.
So that was Lincoln Street. I couldn't quite read the voucher.
Answered
And it wasn't on the invoice, so good to know. Okay. Any questions?
I make a motion that the claims be approved as presented.
Mr. Snodgrass makes motion to approve as presented. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Jeff seconds. Okay. Any further discussion, questions?
I do have a question. Why- if-
Go ahead.
if The waterworks building is gonna come down, why do you need an appraisal?
That's just the name of the plat.
Yeah, it's just, obviously it's the name of the plat, but to answer your question, the legal process for disposition of property requires us to do 2 appraisals to dispose of property. It requires us to do 2 appraisals to purchase any property. So anytime we dispose of any property or purchase any property, we have to do appraisals. Yeah.
Okay. Any further questions? Hearing none, we have a motion on the floor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
So if I could ask a further
Mhm.
question, that's passed. So once we dispose of the property, is it up to the new owner to take the building down?
Yes.
Okay.
In
We
this
are not gonna
case.
be part of that.
In this case, yes. Now, I mean, other agreements we would have with, it depends on what agreements we have. In this case, our agreement with them is they would do the demolition, that's correct.
Yeah. We have had some in the past where we took it down.
I now maybe understand the premise of the question. I was thinking, if
Yes.
we're gonna take it down, why are we getting it?
Yeah.
Selling it and they're doing it, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Jeremy.
Yep.
Anything else? Okay. Move on to the resolutions. Resolution 2020-0201.
So we're doing a couple of things here. The first thing I'm requesting is that, so attached to this resolution, in essence, are 4 different appraisals. You have the appraisals for the 800 and 802 East Center Street, and then you have the appraisals for the Market Street, 5 lots on Market Street, otherwise known as 805 East Market. So when we're doing this, we're approving those resolution, or those appraisals, and then we're approving the resolution, which then outlines the process of which we will both be acquiring and disposing of the property to the benefit of this senior housing project on Market Street. Is there any questions? So the first thing you'd be doing is accepting those appraisals,
I was
the
gonna say,
four
we
appraisals.
need to do them in the right order here.
Yep,
The
so you-
appraisal first.
So we're accepting the four appraisals as verified appraisals, and then we're approving the resolution that adopts the process of which we will acquire and dispose of those properties. Does that make sense? And this one's a little bit different than the Buffalo Street one, because in that one, we'll just be straight disposing of the property. With this one, we're gonna be acquiring 800 and 802, but then we're also gonna dispose that property back to them. And then we're also disposing to them the 5 lots, part of 805 East Market Street.
And that's our contribution.
And that's our contribution that we agreed to, I think sometime this time last year. As they applied for the housing grant that was awarded through the ICDA, we get points. They get points on those programs based on our contribution. So we agreed upon this contribution as our proportion of the project. We were fortunate enough to get awarded those state funds. And so we're moving forward with that project.
I move to accept the 4 appraisals as presented.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the appraisals as presented. Do I hear a second? I'm not hearing.
Second.
Mr. Snodgrass, thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the 4 appraisals as presented. Further discussion, questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Appraisals are approved. Now, let's go back to, actually, both resolutions. Do we need to do them
We'll
one
just
at a time?
one at a time, so we'll do Resolution 2020-0201. Like I said, lays out that process of which we acquire and dispose of the property known as 800 and 802 East Center Street, as well as the 5 lots known as 805 East Market Street.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a resolution here presented to us for the disposition of those properties that he just listed, 800 and 802 East Center, and Market Street, 805 East Market.
I make a motion to accept.
Mike makes a motion to accept as presented.
Second.
Jeff makes a motion. Seconds that. Any further discussion, questions? Okay. Call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That is the approval for 2020-0201. We'll move now to Resolution 2020-0202. And this property relating to the Buffalo Street project.
Yeah, so same process. In this case, you have appraisals for lots.
We need to go to the appraisal first. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so lots 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Waterworks subdivision plat. Those appraisals, so technically there's 8 appraisals, but 2 different appraisals for the 4 different lots. So we would accept those appraisals, and then we move to the resolution, which in this case is setting out the disposition of those properties.
Okay, I only see one Market Street appraisal.
Is that one handed out? Yeah.
Oh,
There's
there's
your
the
second
second one. is-
Yep.
Thank you. That's what that was, because it looked very much. All right, so you have, in your board packet, you have appraisal for Market Street appraisal, and one was a handout that you should have received.
Well, the Buffalo Street one would be the
Yeah,
Vern
Buffalo
Mitchell and the Griffith.
That's a different one.
Yeah, so this was the last resolution. The two
Oh, that's
appraisals you
right,
should
that-
have now are both the Vern
Sorry.
Mitchell and
Got ahead of myself.
the Lowell Griffin. And I have paper copies if for some reason.
Okay.
Now
So there's
there's
two market appraisals.
There's two appraisals, but there's
Yeah.
4 appraisals within the 2 appraisals. That makes sense.
Yes, yes.
And I reviewed both of them, and they're within $20,000 of each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, total.
Yeah,
And you usually average those?
yes, the average of those 2 is what the disposition process involves.
Okay, this is for the waterworks.
Yes.
So I would make a motion, we approve the appraisals for the waterworks.
Okay, Rick makes a motion to approve waterworks appraisals, all of them as presented, correct?
Second.
Jeff makes a motion, seconds that motion. Okay, any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Those appraisals are approved. Now we'll go back up to resolution 2020-0202, correct?
Yes.
Sorry, I got a little out of order there a little bit.
You were confusing me, but I managed to stay with you.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
The flogging will come later.
I look forward to it. Thank you. As usual. Okay, resolution 2020-0202, and that is for the disposition
Yes.
of Buffalo Street project lots. And I believe there's 4 of them
As it pertains to the mixed-use building, yes.
as it pertains to mixed use. Okay?
That's-
Any
That's
questions?
the waterworks project.
Yes.
Waterworks, yes.
I'd make a motion, we approve resolution 2020-02-02.
Okay, as presented?
Yep.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve 2020-0202. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. That resolution is passed. All righty. Now, we have an amendment to the waterworks, or the Wessler Engineering Tech Park Lift Station, correct?
Yes. So we initially entered into a contract with them to design the lift station for Phase 2 of the technology park, which they did. As part of that design, as we moved along, Greenmark came aboard, and there was some discussion on how to make that lift station work as it pertained to just serving Greenmark. Initially, we shelled the lift station with the intent of we would drop pumps as development occurred. And that lift station was designed to support hundreds of acres of development. We had to modify that in order to support growth as it occurs. So it's designed for a long service life, but in between those designs are going to be smaller service lives as it expands to its full capacity. So this amendment was to support that redesign of that lift station so that we can more or less design upwards as development occurs. So that's the additional amendment to the plan, and that's the additional requirement or their request for the $20,000 of an additional design services was for that design.
So this adds $20,000 to the original contract, but will we have to amend this again each time the expansion happens and we need more lift station, more power in that lift station until we reach the max development?
Not necessarily. It'll depend on the scale. So we may be, the next building that comes in, depending on their usage, we may be able to continue to use what we have. Could be 3 buildings, could be 1 building. You know, we could have 1 building that kicks us into the fold and we remove everything we just did. And that's the downside of it. The upside is the lift station we built will service a lot of land in the future year. Unfortunately, it's got to get up to that capacity. And if we have one industrial user that uses a lot of water, it could get up really quick. Obviously with today's industrial practices, it's probably not going to happen. So it'll be a slower scale. So our guess is that probably in the next 1 or 2 buildings will be all right. By the time we hit 3 or 4 buildings, then we'll probably have to modify it again.
Okay. Thank you.
And depending on those flows, it could be a 1 modification, could be 2 modifications, could be 3, it just depends.
So there's potential here for additional modifications,
Yes, it won't necessarily,
depending on how
Yeah.
quickly it.
and it probably won't be this contract. This contract will be done, we'll enter into a new contract. This was occurring as we were designing it. They were initially designing the system to operate as a full system. And as we got further along, we didn't originally anticipate Green Mark coming on. We were trying to build phase 1 and move that direction. When Green Mark jumped ahead and bought a piece of property, that threw us into now having a lift station that we had shelled, but didn't intend to start operating until that development occurred. So we had to speed up things a little bit, but it's operational, it'll work probably for the next few users, unless somebody comes in and uses tens of thousands of gallons an hour, but you know.
Jeremy, are we talking mechanics here?
Yes. Yeah, so this system is designed with I believe a 6-inch force main. And obviously Green Mark being our tractor sales, they're not going to have enough volume to put in the type of pumps that will service this area over its lifetime. So we went down to almost like a 1 pump with a smaller 2-inch force main, and that'll serve, say, 8,000 gallons a day or whatever, an hour or whatever. And then as we build out there and that gallons increases, then we'll flip over to everything for the overall lift station's in place, outside of the pumps.
The physical structure.
The physical structure and outside of the pumps that would handle, 100,000 gallons a day are not in place because we don't have 100,000 gallons a day. So the structure itself, the depths and all that will service not only the phase 2, the phase 3, going north, all of that capacity is there, but we're not able to, there's no capacity to serve at this point in time. So as that develops, the capacity will be there, but in the meantime, we had to basically downsize that initial service. So as it builds up, we'll take out the restrictions, and then it'll eventually run at its full capacity.
If that happens, you could probably take the physical pump mechanical part, maybe put it somewhere else in the city that's
Yeah.
running into the same issue. They need something to get them by on a smaller volume.
Yeah, the pump's a pump. I mean, if the wastewater can reuse it, they'll reuse it wherever they need be. And same thing with some of the other pumps. I think we upgraded our pumps out at the Medtronic lift station a year or 2 ago. I think we paid about $100,000 to upgrade those pumps. Those pumps, they just took them out and put them on their shelf, and if they can be used somewhere else, they'll use them.
So at the minimum, we're looking at 1 more upgrade to that.
I think so. I mean, I think we're probably gonna
Yeah,
be,
hopefully.
I think we're probably gonna be at a 50-50. So somewhere, we're gonna reach capacity at what we've just installed. And hopefully, when we hit that point, it'll be decent enough capacity that we can remove everything and go with the original design,
We hope, yeah.
we hope. Now, if you continue to get smaller end users in there, and the tough part about manufacturing nowadays, everything is, about reducing costs. So manufacturers aren't using water as much as they have in the past. So that's going to play a factor into when we hit that capacity.
Okay. Yeah, my point is, I just want to make sure this group understood that this may not be the last of this discussion on this lift pump, and future development will dictate how many more and to what size.
Yeah,
Okay?
the system we've installed is designed to serve Green Mark now, plus to drop another pump that will add service life again if we were to get somebody, another user that would overwhelm the initial pump that's in there. And once we hit that third capacity, the thought would be we'd be going to the full lift station at that point.
Understood. Got that? There's gonna be a quiz later. Okay. All right?
So do you need a motion to approve the amendment?
Yes.
Yeah, we're adding, at this point, $20,000 to the original design fee.
At $20,000, but we gotta get the job done, so I'll make a motion that we accept the second amendment.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the
Phase 2 lift station.
Phase 2 lift station for $20,000 additional, as presented.
Second.
Jeff seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are approved.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate the explanation,
Yeah,
as we have seen this. Any new business?
I don't necessarily have any new business. I had a conversation with Rick. I think Rick wanted to look at the possibility of maybe walking through the townhomes when they get a little bit closer to being done, which if there's any interest in that, I'd be more than happy to try to set that up.
see that.
I would like,
Yeah, it's a good
like
idea.
to see them finished.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're gonna they're basically gonna have a ready model for the one. The other two, I think, the other two units will probably be left as a shell for the most part. But I'm sure we could probably get a tour through the model one.
I see the sign going up out there at the tech park.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a few years coming.
No kidding, it's been a long time.
So we had a few issues to work
Yeah, you
through. We had to
did.
get the Ivy Tech easement and
Yeah.
all that, and but they should be under construction. I know the one further, the 200 one was a little bit easier because that was on property that was part of our development. The Ivy Tech one, we've got the easements and all that, and they had to take down their sign, build a new sign for them, and work out the electrical, but yeah, they're coming along.
And since our last meeting, we had closing on the Market Street
Yep.
property. So that's officially, we voted on that last,
The Fort Wayne Street, yeah.
or Fort Wayne Street,
Yep.
I'm sorry. 125 East Market.
Yes.
East Fort Wayne Street. Which we had all the documents
That's right.
corrected for that.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else from you?
Just trying to gear up for the upcoming projects this year.
Good.
We'll have more appraisals to come. We've got right away we need to buy on 150 West to make those improvements. There's some things with easements and things we still yet have to get for the Airport Industrial Park, and so yeah, just getting ready for this year's construction projects.
Mr. Mayor, you have anything to add tonight?
No, Jeremy and I did get a chance to go through the townhomes, and I was pretty impressed. They're as close to being done, so I don't think it'll be too much longer.
Good.
Have that opportunity to see them.
Yeah, there seems to be an agreement amongst our group that we'd probably like to
Yep.
have
Yeah,
that
they've been-
tour.
They've been done very well.
Yeah, I think
At your
they have a real estate person, so I'll see if I can reach out with him and maybe schedule something with him. I think he was walking through the same time we were,
Yeah.
so I'll see if, once they get finished, I'll just tell him, hey, give us an opportunity to schedule time to walk through.
Okay. Anything else? Mr. Teal, anything from you?
Just look along, stop at in case there are questions, but look at this
We appreciate that.
Can I ask you a quick question? Where's the, on the senior housing, what's the timeline, or what's next, or what's the steps? Where do we go from here, I guess?
So for the next month and a half, we'll have some advertisements that go out. Then there's a waiting period, and then we will finalize this process, this disposition process. And at that point, we'll purchase and close on the properties. They are in the middle of their design right now, so they're trying to finalize their design to get the building out to bid. So I assume sometime this spring, they'll start construction on that building. And I think it'll probably be about a 1.5 year construction time frame, because it's 72 units, 3-story building, so it'll take a little bit of time to construct.
All right, anything else?
Nope.
Just for your information, I will probably be absent in the next meeting, so if Mr. Snodgrass be so kind as to run the meeting for next month, I appreciate it very much.
I'll do my best.
Thank you very much. I know you. All right, anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So made.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.
A few things to sign.
Well, the signing begins.